Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are at the Indianapolis Raceway Park with the Winter Challenge Series for the second race of their 2025-2026 campaign. Qualifying has concluded, and it is time for our last chance qualifier. We will look at the results from qualifying here. Get them up on screen for you guys. Qualifying results, a Danny Mann on the pole. Brandon Wilkinson second. Derek Kraus third. They do have an invert here, so we'll see what that looks like in a little bit. But your top 20 advance. Your first driver out, Scotty Gardner. Going to roll off pole in the last chance qualifier. We're going to be taking the top 4, which will be a 24-car starting field. Let me correct me if I'm incorrect on that. It's just about time to go racing here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. The field will get the 1-to-go signal, and then Scotty Gardner and Ryan Honeycutt going to lead us to the green. Here is your starting field. Scotty Gardner on pole, Ryan Honeycutt second, Carter Stark third, Josh Hamilton fourth. Inside of row 3, Austin Moore in the 107, and Willie Nelson is outside. Brian Conover in the 97 will roll off next to Eric White. Matt Bade and Caleb Adrian will roll off in front of Justin Coleman, Tyler Moeller, and then Matt Urban to round out our field. Is in the hands of Scotty Gardner on the inside. The green is up and the green is out. We are underway here in the last chance qualifier, and problems early on. Eric White in the number 6 machine goes around, and we have a caution flag early on here. Caution flag early to start the last chance qualifier. Let's take a look at how it unfolded for Eric White. See if we can't go on board. This is through the restart zone. You're in the gas right there, and it may have happened right in front of him. Don't know who that was right up in front of him. We'll try to see if we can't get another look at that here. 25, I believe Willie Nelson, and the 25 on the outside got checked up by Ryan Honeycutt in front of him. That outside lane really just did not get going. And unfortunately, Eric White is the first driver to be struck with incident here tonight. He will get that car back out there. The top 4 are going to be the ones advancing here. Lights still on the iRacing.com pace car. Not quite ready to go. Green flag racing. We'll double them up this time. Let me make sure I've got point standings from last week up. There we go. Brandon Elvis and Tristan Swanson tied for the top of the standings after week number 1 at Nashville. Some bonus points mixed in with Brandon Elvis' second place finish. Leaves him tied for second. We'll see what those 2 drivers can do later on tonight. A couple of these drivers trying to punch their ticket into tonight's feature. Scotty Gardner goes nice and early there on the exit of turn number 4. He'll be clear down into turns 1 and 2. They battle side by side behind him. Ryan Honeycutt on the outside lane in that second position. A new trouble back behind. Josh Hamilton goes for a slide into Tyler Moeller in the 178. Hamilton scored as the 18 on the left side of your screen. The collected down into turns 1 and 2. Or sorry, 3 and 4. Happened on the entry. Let's see if we can't get another look. Looked like the 7 of Matt Bade might have gotten into the back bumper of the 28, and then Muller spun on the side. I think both of those drivers going to be able to continue, but 2 early cautions here to start our last chance qualifier. Gardner up front, still on the pole. Race control going to send it back green this time by. They like the lineup and they're ready to go. So it will be Scotty Gardner and Ryan Honeycutt, your front row, once again coming back to the green. Pace car is off. On the bottom, trying to peek out a little bit, even earlier this time. Cuts down the racetrack, and he is clear out front. 8 laps to go. Contact for the second spot. Carter Stark on the bottom lane, trying to take over the second position and get 1 spot closer. He will take that spot away. Now Ryan Honeycutt, comes back with more contact, and Stark up into the outside wall. More cars collected. And we've got a mess on the exit of turn number 4. Saw the 92 make a little bit of contact, passing the 28 of Honeycutt for that second spot. It did not look like Honeycutt was very happy with the way he was passed right there. Let's look at it one more time. This is down the back straightaway. 28 on the outside lane. You see the 92 kind of drive it in there on the top and runs the 28 out, and then 28 comes back right to the left rear. And the 25 of Willie Nelson, nowhere to go. Eric White collected as well. So under caution for the 3rd time here in the last chance qualifier. We've got 9 cars on the racetrack right now, a couple cars coming down pit road. Justin Coleman in the 14 machine, getting some attention from his crew. You can see the right front of that race car a little bit smushed in. The 25 of Willie Nelson also down pit road. See if they can get back out right here. They have not lost a lap yet. Obviously a lot of track position going to be lost. So 9 cars on the racetrack. We'll go back green this time. I believe 5 laps to go. We've had 3 caution flags so far here in the last chance race. Car makes the hard left turn back down the pit road one more time. It'll be Scotty Gardner and Austin DeMoore now side by side. And we are back racing once again here in the last chance race. In trouble for DeMoore, and he spins down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Caution flag comes out immediately, and man, the green flag lasted maybe 3 seconds. I don't even know if I finished the words actually. But you saw the number 7, 107 on the left side of your screen, shoot to the inside of the track. Look at it one more time. If we can't get one more. It looked like he just got hooked. I don't know if he necessarily moved at all or changed lanes, but yeah, just sent right to the bottom. You see he instantly resets that race car. Undoubtedly frustrated. Try it one more time from a different angle here. Which car made contact? Looked like the 97 of Conover, I think, came up a little bit. I'm going to try to get it from one more view here up top. Yeah, just a chain reaction up off the corner. And that brings trouble for Austin D'Amore. So the green flag flies one more time. We're back racing here with 2 laps to go. The fight is on for a transfer spot. Tyler Muller takes it. And there's trouble back behind. Matt Bade in the number 7 machine. Goes around into turns 3 and 4. Caution flag comes out immediately. 5 caution flags so far. Look at it one more time. There was big contact into 1 and 2 there, and then I think the 7 machine may have just came up the racetrack, or 97 came down. One of the 2 things happened there. See if we can't get a good look at it. Down the back straightaway. Yeah, definitely looked like the 92 of Carter Stark was off the wall quite a ways. I'm not sure entirely what it was. See a couple cars back down pit road. We've got 5 cars on the racetrack. We're fighting for 4 transfer spots. And they're going to send them back racing here. Carter Stark going to try to make it back out of the pits. He is on the racetrack, but can he make it back up to the field? They're going to have 2 laps to go. Scotty Gardner fires through the restart zone. And we're back racing. We'll try a green-white checkered here. Down into turns 1 and 2. They fight for the 2nd spot back behind Eric White up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Josh Hamilton to the bottom. Remember, he was involved in the first caution flag, trying to fight his way back into the transfer spot. And the white flag is out this time. Final time around in the last chance qualifier. The 43 of Caleb Adrian to the bottom. That's going to shove Eric White up out of the way. Now Hamilton's in the show. What can Eric White do? Battle for the final spot. Down into turns 3 and 4. Scotty Gardner going to win up off of the corner, but who will take the final transfer spot? It's going to be a drag race, and Eric White going to punch his ticket into the show. Wow, what a thriller there at the line between Josh Hamilton and Eric White. Now, I actually think we do have a second last chance race. It may have only been the top 2 transfers from what I am seeing. Either way, great battle to the line. Eric White got the nose there. For a second last chance race here, let's take a look at our starting field. Austin Carter going to be on the pole in the number 2 machine, next to Nick Fredrickson in the 36. Scott King Swan will roll off 3rd, next to Penn Sauter in the 5 machine here tonight. Nicholas Crumrine in the 99, going to roll off from the 5th spot next to Anthony Danta in the 51. Ty Fredrickson in the 31 machine, going to roll off from the 7th spot. We'll have Travis Eldridge to his outside in the 30. Clayton Story in the 67, going to start 9th. Adam Powers 10th. Ed Papineau from the 11th spot here in the second last chance race. Jason Hack going to round out our field. The field makes their way down the back straightaway. Pace car going to drop to the bottom side. For the green flag here, it is in the hands of Austin Carter and Nick Fredrickson. Your front row, the green flag is out. And we are underway. The jump goes to the outside lane. Fredrickson going to peek ahead down into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Pensauter on the bottom side in the number 5 machine. He tries to cross back over everybody. I think safely down the back straightaway. Pensauter in the number 5 going to try to take the lead on the bottom. Nearly contact, and I think there was right there. The leader of lap number 1 going to be Austin Carter. Carter holds the top spot. Down into turns 1 and 2, the number 5 machine trying to get to the bottom, and I think he will pull alongside into turns 3 and 4. And Sauter in the number 5 to the bottom. Oh, a little bit of contact, more contact. And Austin Carter spins to the bottom of the racetrack. Off of turn number 4, there was definitely contact up off the corner. The 5 machine, I think, got just a little bit aggressive trying to make that pass. Ultimately, the 2 machine went around off of 4. Look at it one more time. See if we can't go up above right here. See the 5 machine come up the racetrack, makes that pass right there, and then I think the 2 machine, just trying to gather it back up, spins to the bottom. Tough break for Austin Carter. Look at it on board with the 2 machine. C5 shoot to the bottom, right up the racetrack. And I think he just spun right after that. He had a lot of wheel in it, and the car just came right around. So tough break. 2 machine of Carter down on pit road. And that will change up the look of the field just a little bit. Pensauter going to the rear after that one. So the pace car moves back to pit road. It's time to go back racing. Got King Swan, Anthony Dante, your top 2. And back through the restart zone they go. 51 machine gets a good jump on the outside lane. They go side by side into 1 and 2. Here comes Ty Fredrickson to the bottom in the 36. He wants to be in the show tonight. Laps to go. We're 3 wide for the second spot. Here comes Fredrickson to the bottom. Story on the outside lane. Kind of got shoved out right there. He will lose a couple spots. Now they're side by side. Ooh, the 67 machine was sideways down into 3 and 4. I think he'll save it. This guy's doing a good job of keeping everything tidy up at the front. Move Ty Fredrickson up into the second spot. Now Nick Fredrickson in the other 36 machine right there. Trying to fight for third. He's got Scott Kingswan to his inside. And oh, contact right there. The 55 gets into the back bumper of the 36. And then there's more down the back straightaway. Pink Swan went for a tumble right there, all the way up and over on the backstretch. Let's look at what happened right here one more time. 55 right into the back bumper of the 36. And I think the 36 wanted to show some of his displeasure. I definitely think he got his money's worth there. Caution flag back out. There are 8 cars on the racetrack. Still under caution. We've got under 5 laps to go here. We'll see if we use any of our green-white checkered attempts here in the second last chance qualifier. It looks like it will be go time this next lap. Fredrickson gonna roll off 1-2. Story and Eldridge in row number 2. Pace car drops back to the bottom. They'll come back with 2 laps to go. Big launch from the 51 machine. And up out of 4, we're back racing down into turns 1 and 2. Good launch for the race leader, Anthony Danta. Battle for the second spot. Here comes Clayton Story trying to take over P2 from Ty Fredrickson. No contact up the racetrack goes Fredrickson. White flag is out. Final time around here. Around goes the 67 machine. Tough break for Clayton Story. Down the back straightaway goes Anthony Danta. Turns 3 and 4. Winner of the second last chance race going to be Anthony Danta. Ty Fredrickson second. Jason Hack third. Travis Eldridge fourth. Nick Fredrickson fifth. Adam Powers comes home in the 6th spot. Ed Papineau 7th. Clayton Story 8th. That was all of your finishing drivers. So these drivers are going to have a quick warm-up session. I'm going to take a quick step away. You guys will get a scenic look at the racetrack here so we can hop around. I'm gonna go grab a drink of water and get everything ready for this 150 laps, or this 150 lap feature event we've got coming up here momentarily. I'll be right back. You guys won't miss a thing. Alrighty, folks, we are back just in time for the gridding for tonight's North State Motors 150. A look at the starting lineup. Had to get something out of my eye, and I think it's still there. So if we go silent at any point in the broadcast, assume I'm messing with my eye. Let's see what we've got on the starting grid, though. On the pole, going to be the number 28 machine of Carter Hollingsworth. His outside, Brian Tedeschi, scored as a 229 here tonight. Joe Schaefer Jr. in the number 6 machine, going to roll off on the inside of row number 2. He'll have second in points. Brandon Elvis, his outside in the 4th spot. Brett Smith in the number 3, going to roll off on the inside of row number 3 from P5. And he'll have Derek Kraus to his outside, starting 6th. Brandon Wilkinson in the 56, going to roll off from the 7th spot with Danny Mann, your fast qualifier here tonight, starting 8th. Michael Ostiek in the 33, going to start from the 9th spot, with Tanner Burge in the 35 to his outside, rounding out your top 10 starters. Max Hanley in the 05 machine, going to roll off 11th. He'll start next to Corey Rogers in the number 40 machine. Back behind them, it's going to be Riley Stenjum in the number 77 next to Eddie Dabrowski in the 029 machine. And Jackson Lewis in the 07 going to roll off 15th next to Nick Reberg in the 117 here tonight, starting 16th. Kristen Swanson, last week's winner, going to roll off from the 17th spot here tonight next to Brett McCoy. Preston Moores starting 19th in the 29 machine next to Kenny Storkson in the number 54. That is your top 20 qualified in on time. Then back behind them, the rest of your starting field, Scotty Gardner, Anthony Danta from last chance qualifier number 1. And then Tyler Muller and Ty Frederickson from last chance qualifier number 2. Field is into turns 3 and 4. Is in the hands of Carter Hollingsworth and Brian Tedeschi. Starter has the green flag in hand. The field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. The green flag is out. We are racing in the North State Motors 150 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Down into turns 1 and 2. Carter Hollingsworth side by side with Brian Tedeschi down the back straightaway. Field 2 by 2. Coming at you down into 3 and 4. Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 trying to muscle around on the bottom lane, but here comes Brian Tedeschi going to lead lap number 1. Leader of lap 1 going to be Tedeschi, but here comes Carter Hollingsworth back to the bottom in the 28 machine. Poking a nose out front. Green flag is out here 2 laps into this one. We are still side by side at the front. Looks like Carter Hollingsworth is going to peek out and take the race lead. Left side of your screen. See where your favorite driver is. Right now, your top 5, actually probably your top 10 or so, single file as everybody's trying to find their rhythm. 4 laps in, and your pole setter, Carter Hollingsworth, currently shows the way. It's Corey Rogers on the outside lane, in the number 40 machine on the outside. Michael Ostiek trying to get up on that outside preferred groove. Having a troubled time doing so far. And passing at Indianapolis is definitely one of the harder things here, so we're going to have to keep an eye on who is able to make their way through the field. Track positions are going to be huge all night long. back to the bottom in turn number 1. Underneath Corey Rogers, trying to make his way back up into the top 10. Not able to get the run just yet. Up in front of them, Danny Mann in the 10 machine, working his way underneath Derek Krause, trying to take over the 5th spot. And your fast qualifier here tonight. He's making that inside lane work. Here comes the 10. To the bottom. Let's see what he's able to do. He drives it in very deep, kind of muscles his way to that outer groove. He will take that 5th spot away here, 9 laps in. Back behind him to the inside of Brent Smith. Smith in that all black number 3. Green on the bottom. Running in the 7th spot. He started top 5 in this one. Trying to take it easy in these first couple laps. Corey Rogers in the 40 shot to the outside lane right there. Not going to be able to get to the outside of Tanner Burge. We're still battling side by side. 33 at Austin, I think, is the only car that I have not seen up on that outside lane thus far. He's been one of the only cars catfishing all the way around the racetrack. He's not having an opportunity to get up to the outside lane. Pair of 29s right there. Eddie Dabrowski, the blue one. Lighter blue one out front. Oh, there's contact. Dabrowski around. He is up on top of, I believe that was the 78 of Tyler Muller. We have a caution flag here, lap number 12. We'll slow it down for the first time. We'll see what happened to Dabrowski. He's coming out of turns 1 and 2 right here. See him kind of having a little bit of connection issues, and I think he got hooked by the 77 of Stenjum. And around goes Dabrowski. That brings us under caution for the first time here tonight. And try and watch that on board with the 77 of Riley Stenjum. I think the 29 may have just came up the racetrack a little bit prematurely there. And that causes a big one. We've got some pit strategy up at the front. A couple cars coming down pit road, actually several cars coming down pit road. Only 8 cars stayed out. Everybody else coming to the pits. Perhaps for fuel. I don't think there was going to be any tires taken just yet. But more than likely a fuel stop for some of these drivers. As the caution flag flies for the first time. There are your 8 drivers that stayed out on this caution flag. We will go green. Not this time, but here in a couple laps. Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 machine. The field gonna get the choose right there. Everybody actually electing to really take that outside lane. He's everybody kind of cruising right there. But a lot of drivers in the front half of the field electing to go with the outside lane over the track position. So we'll see how it pans out for them. Pace car makes its way back to the bottom. We're going to have a repeat of our starting grid at the beginning of this one. Carter Hollingsworth and Brian Tedeschi is in the hands of Hollingsworth in the 28 machine, and he's going to roll nice and early out of turn number 4. He will be clear across the line on lap 17. We're back racing at IRP. Down the back straightaway goes the 28 of Hollingsworth. He leads. Brandon Elvis thought about going to the inside for second there. But here comes Danny Mann on the top. Your fast qualifier up into the 3rd spot already. Move Danny Mann into P3. In the 33 machine, finally up to the outside lane. And how about Tyler Moeller in the 78 here tonight? Started P23 on the grid, just about shotgun on the field. He's worked his way up to 7th already. Good run for number 78. Brett Smith, Tanner Burge banging doors on the front straightaway. Smith up the racetrack, trying to get that spot away from Burge. I think he's going to try to get it a little bit more aggressively than I think he would have liked to have done right there. There's the 29 of Preston Boers. Nearly spun the 35 machine right there. Good save from Tanner Burge, and he's able to get back down into line. But definitely under attack for that 12th spot. Hollingsworth has a half-second lead out front. Corey Rogers and Mike Losty side by side for the final spot in the top 5. Ostick in the 33, see him pulling ahead in the center of the corner with that 40. Corey Rogers able to just keep the momentum wound up on the top lane. It looks like Ostick gonna fall back in a line into the 6th spot, and he's gonna be under attack from Tyler Muller now into turn number 3. Muller driving that car in very deep into the center of the corner and trying to get it rotated. He can drive it up off the corner. Into turn number 1, Tyler Muller to the inside. Ostick gonna get the run once again. 25 laps in when Carter Hollingsworth comes back across this time. There'll be 125 laps to go. Take the 2nd spot away from Brian Tedeschi right there. Tedeschi on the outside lane at risk of losing 3rd. Brandon Elvis trying to take that spot away on the bottom. Looks like Elvis going to slide up in front. Tedeschi going to try to cross him back over. There was a little bit of contact there. Brian Tedeschi going to move back to the bottom. Take that spot back from Brandon Elvis. It does look like these drivers are able to pass here early on. We'll have to see if the lane changes throughout the race as Tedeschi runs the 54 up the racetrack just a little bit. They're starting to widen out the groove. Here comes Corey Rogers in the 40. Lap number 30 up on the board. We've still got a battle for the third spot on our screen. Brandon Elvis on the top. Brian Tedeschi on the bottom. Looks like Elvis going to be able to get the pedal down off of 4. Ooh, was sideways that time. He held on to it. Everybody held on to it. We're all kind of bunched up off the corner right there. Backstretch. 2x2. Corey Rogers in the 40. Underneath Tedeschi. Here comes Tyler Muller making another attempt to pass Michael Ostiek there. Muller's been very quick so far in this one. Up 17 spots, just shy of the top 5. Hollingsworth's lead out front right now, 1.2 seconds. Just trying to conserve as much tire as he can. Looks like Tyler Muller going to take that spot away from Michael Ostiek, move him up into 6th. Ostiek going to do a big lunge back to the bottom. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Ostiek taking the spot back. Now here comes Derek Kraus, the first driver of the drivers that came down pit road on that alternate strategy. Ostiek back to the bottom once again. These two are battling very intensely for that 6th spot. Only 36 laps into this one. Derek Kraus has got a great view for this one in the number 9. He's actually going to take a big lunge to the bottom himself. He'll try to make it 3 wide. Coming off of turn number 4, he'll have to back out of it. Get back up in the line. See Kraus trying to get that car to rotate and drive up off, but you can get one but not both. Usually how it works in these late model stocks. No contact there. Brett Smith goes around. Other cars collected. Anthony Danta, I think that was Tanner Burge, spun to the bottom as well. I did not see how the 3 machine of Smith initially got sideways. Let's see if we can't have another look at it. See Burge in the 35, he was involved in this one. I think there was just a little bit of contact going into 3. Nowhere for the 51 to go. I think that was the only car, or other car collected. But Tanner Burge, nowhere for him really to go. They all kind of bunched up on his nose right there. Going into turns 3 and 4. Let's watch it on board with the 35. Yeah, just the slightest contact, and then Smith back into the wall. That puts us under caution for the 2nd time. Oh, trouble on pit road. Danny Mann spun back around trying to get into his box, and he finally gets into his box, but a lot of track position lost for sure. Remember, these are just fuel stops. I don't think these guys are getting tires Not just yet, but it's just a fuel stop to make sure they're in the right position for when they do get tires. Not sure how Danny Mann looped it on pit road. He's going to lose some track position nonetheless. Carter Hollingsworth relinquishes the lead. He decided it was time to come down pit road and grab a little bit of fuel. Lights back off on the iRacing.com pace car. Field is getting ready to go back green. Going to be in the hands of Tyler Muller and Derek Kraus. Muller is the control car on the outside lane. Kraus lines up second. Early launch from the 78, and we are back racing here on turns 3 and 4. Underway on lap 43. Big lunge from the 9 down into turns 1 and 2. He'll take a shot to the bottom. He'll challenge Tyler Muller for the lead down the back straightaway. A couple cars sideways down the backstretch. I think everybody's going to make it through unscathed. And no contact out front. Derek Kraus goes around. And that is going to bring out the caution. Tyler Muller going to go for a spin as well. Immediately back under yellow. Third caution flag here. See what happened. It was up off of 4. I think Kraus may have just gotten a little bit too wide. You see the door right there, and then up the track again. Just could not keep the car pinned down. Spins it around the front straightaway, and there goes Tyler Muller as well. Nothing he could have done. So Derek Kraus brings out the caution on lap 44. Try and look at it one more time on board with Tyler Muller in the number 78. Here's his view of it. Up the track, you can see not one but 2 door slams right there. Back under yellow. A couple of drivers did elect to come down pit road at the time of caution. A couple just to get damage. I don't think any of our drivers, strategy-wise, have really changed things up too much. Tyler Muller, though, still the only driver, I think, in the field that has not came to pit road yet. So that is one thing to note. This time by will be 45 laps in, just shy of 100 laps to go. They will choose this time field looking a little bit more even inside outside this time around. Track position starting to matter a little bit more as we get later into this one. The field will double up here. And it'll be once again Tyler Muller on the front row, but Joe Schaefer Jr. going to have control on that outside lane. He fires nice and early. He'll have a good run down the front straightaway and bring us back green down into turns 3 and 4. Sorry, 1 and 2. Caution flag already. Nick Rehberg in the 17. Going for a slide. Saw him spinning at the bottom right corner of the screen. I did not catch how it happened, though. Take one more view at it. I think that's Tristan Swanson in the 91. There was contact and the 17 got hooked up into the outside wall. Seen a couple of those incidents here at IRP. Very easy to kind of misjudge where you're at off the corner. Try and look at it up above here. There we go. This is a good view. Watch the 17 on the bottom, 4th row on the bottom. Yeah, the 91 was definitely as far up the racetrack as he could have been. Great job by everybody else right there to not make more damage for the 17. But I don't think there was anything the 91 of Tristan Swanson really could have done right there. Field still behind the lights on the iRacing.com pace car. They're not ready to send them green just yet. Next week we have Hickory in the Rods Electric Twin 100s. So not one but two 100 lap features at Hickory in the late model stock. Field going to get the 1 to go signal with the choose cone this time. Let's see where they choose. Riley Stenjum up in the top 5 in the 77 machine. Lights back off. Gonna send them back green. Let's see if we can get some green flag laps in here. Pit strategy kind of thrown off a little bit with this string of cautions we've seen. But the green flag gonna come back out, and we're gonna be back racing. It's Joe Schaefer Jr. and Brandon Wilkinson. We're top 2, leading us back out of 4. Green flag is back out. Good advantage for the 6 machine out front into turns 1 and 2. First pair side by side is going to be Riley Stenjum on the bottom, Tyler Muller up top. Muller trying to hang on to that track position. He has not came to pit road just yet. On the outside lane, Stenjum, a little bit of contact there. 78 trying to hold him down tight, but Stenjum going to use every piece of room given. Side by side right there. How about Jackson Lewis up inside of the top 5? Starting 15th in this one. Trying to work his way up onto the podium. Tyler Muller. The outside lane is a little bit better on the restarts, but once you get 10-15 laps into a run, it's really hard to make the passes. That's why you're seeing everybody very aggressive on these restarts, especially on the exit of the corner. If you can get almost even with the guy there, you see a lot of them just going in, giving a little bit of a door check, driving up off And then doing a slider in the next corner. Not the cleanest way of passing, but sometimes it is the way you have to pass with how close these late model stock cars are. Lap 58 up on the board. We're getting closer to halfway. Lewis tried a big slide job that time, didn't quite get all of it. We'll see if he does it again into 3. I think he'll just enter up a little bit higher and just get the run off the corner, and he will. Jackson Lewis to 4th, and oh, there's contact. Lewis around in turns 1 and 2. He'll save it up off the wall, but look at all the track position that he's going to lose right there. All the way back to the 16th spot. Up at the front, Tyler Muller side by side with Max Hanley right there. Hanley on the bottom in the 5th spot, Muller up top. Muller gonna have to concede right there as Hanley gets around on the bottom. Here comes Brian Tedeschi trying to work his way back forward. Gets around Ty Fredrickson for 9th. Joe Schaefer still leads by about 3 car lengths over Brandon Wilkinson. Riley Stenjum runs 3rd. Preston Boers 4th. Max Hanley rounds out your top 5. We're getting some green flag laps in here. Kristen Swanson to the inside of Tyler Muller. That's for the 6th spot on the racetrack. Muller down low. Sorry, Muller up top. And you can see right there. Swanson up to 6th. That's your winner from last week and defending champion here. In the Winter Challenge Series. About 10 laps shy of halfway. And that's, I think, when we're going to start seeing some of the strategy heat up, especially if we get another caution flag. If we get a caution here, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple drivers dip down and take a set of tires. At least right sides. This is the battle for the 12th spot on the racetrack. Nick Weaver currently has it. Carter Hollingsworth and Moore on the attack for it. Brandon Elvis through the middle, 3 wide right there. Michael Ostiek got a little bit tight up on the top side, I think. Had to forfeit those positions. Brian Tedeschi to the inside of Tyler Muller. That's the battle for 7th now. Ty Fredrickson trying to follow suit as well. Carter Hollingsworth and Brandon Elvis side by side back behind him. Both those drivers trying to get around Nick Rehberg. in the 17. Hollingsworth got up in the wall a little bit. Fredrickson able to get around Tyler Muller. Corey Rogers going to try to follow through as well. It's not too far in front of Nick Weberg and Brandon Elvis right here. Up front, Joe Schaefer Jr. down the back straightaway. 0.6 of a second over Brandon Wilkinson. He'll have 23 cars on the lead lap. So all the cars on the racetrack right now are the cars on the lead lap. Only one car out of it so far, that's Tanner Burge, who's about 8 laps down. Joe Schaefer Jr. continues to show the way. A big battle right here for the 12th spot. Hollingsworth underneath Weberg. Big lunge to the bottom, and he's going to take that spot away. Weberg going to try to come back to the bottom, but I don't think he's going to have a good enough run right there. Danny Mann in the 10, your fast qualifier here tonight, trying to fight with Anthony Danta, and there's contact. Mann up into the wall. Will open up the door for Brandon Elvis. Elvis to the bottom. Elvis back to the bottom, trying to take away the 14th spot from Anthony Danta. We're past halfway here. We're past halfway. I'm sure if we do see a caution flag at some point, we will see drivers come down the road and putting tires on. How about this? Scotty Gardner from the last chance race up into the 9th spot. Another last chance qualifier transfer. Ty Fredrickson up to the 8th spot behind Brian Tedeschi in the 29. Been green for quite some time here. When you're green like this, it definitely puts a lot of stress on these tires, and as we get further into the run, you can see a couple of drivers starting to lose a little bit of speed. Riley Stenjum trying to complete the pass on Preston Boers. That is for 3rd. Meanwhile, Max Hanley to the bottom. Going to try to make it a 3-car race for the 3rd spot. Hanley underneath, Stenjum up off the corner. We'll take that spot away. Now Tristan Swanson gonna poke his nose into the top 5. He will move into the 5th spot. We continue to work back through the field. Carter Hollingsworth underneath Tyler Muller will take that spot away. Move Hollingsworth back up to 11th. On the back bumper of Riley Stenjum. Benjamin starting to fall off the pace here a little bit. Let's look at the lap times everybody went last time around. You can really see some drivers starting to fall off the pace a little bit. Benjamin back into the 23s. Your leader, Joe Schaefer Jr. Almost 1.5 seconds on Brandon Wilkinson. The caution flag flies. Danny Mann in the 10 machine in the grass in turns 3 and 4. Didn't see what happened there, but let's take a look. Caution comes out for the 5th time. We're gonna have one quick look at it before we look at the pit stops. See Mann in the 10 machine. Looked like another deal where there was just not enough space down the back straightaway. And around goes the 10. I think Elvis was able to keep going. And actually not as many pit stops as I had initially anticipated. Tyler Muller going to bring him down pit road. He'll be the first, and several drivers going to join him. You see right sides going on the 78 machine. Derek Kraus also coming down pit road. And he will get some right side tires on that car as well. Actually, maybe not. I'm not seeing the right sides go up on the 9, so it might just be a damaged trip. Elvis going to get some damage repaired as well. That puts us under caution for a 5th time here tonight. We had a long green flag run. Look at our race recap so far. We've had 5 cautions for 17 laps, 2 different leaders. So far, we are just past the halfway point, 87 laps in. Joe Schaefer currently leads. They will be coming back to choose cone right here. See where everybody goes. Inside or outside, inside. A lot of drivers still wanting to take the outside lane, but not everybody wanting to lose track position. So Joe Schaefer gonna bring him back to the green. He had a big lead before the caution flag came out, so we'll see where everybody stacks up on speed after that long green flag run. Schaefer on the outside next to Brandon Wilkinson. Pace car is off and into turns 3 and 4. The 6 machine going to go nice and early. We are back underway with 89 laps in out of 150 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Down the back straightaway, Joe Schaefer Jr. leads Brandon Wilkinson by a couple of car lengths. They battle for 4th and 5th back behind him. Kristen Swanson in the 5th spot. Ryan Tedeschi right there as well, running P6, trying to work his way forward. Tedeschi on the bottom, still not able to get around Ty Fredrickson in the 36. I think he'll pull ahead that time, but you can see the ground that those two lose when they're side by side. Other driver trying to work his way back forward is Carter Hollingsworth. Underneath Anthony Danta in the 51. Hollingsworth down low. trying to take that spot, nearly has the run off the corner. Just lacking a little bit of drive off, and now 28, big lunge to the inside in 1 and 2. He will take that spot away. As down the back straightaway, Brandon Wilkinson has lost the 2nd spot, and now he's at risk of losing 3rd. Max Hanley to the inside. Kristen Swanson is right there, ready to pounce as well. Looks like Hanley going to take that spot. He will pull ahead on the exit of turn number 4. Here comes Tristan Swanson fighting to the bottom. Ty Fredrickson as well. And the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson definitely looks like he's lost a little bit of that pace that we saw early on. 5 laps shy of lap 100. It'll be a 50-lap shootout from that point on. And once we get past that lap 100 mark, those last 50 laps are going to go by quickly. You're not up inside of the top 10 and running out of time to position yourself for the best spot when we get that pit stop. Brandon Wilkinson right there. Wilkinson back to the 9th spot. He's definitely lost a little bit of the speed in that machine. Here comes Tyler Muller inside the top 10 up to the 10th spot. He and Anthony Danta battling. Muller going to take that spot away. See Corey Rogers on the outside, trying to split Anthony Danta 3 wide right there. Eddie Dabrowski on the bottom. A big slide job up the racetrack, and he'll take that spot away. Up front, new leader Preston Boers. Underneath, Joe Schaefer. On lap 100, give it to Preston Boers in the 29 machine. We've got a new driver out front. Here comes Tristan Swanson in the 91, Ty Fredrickson in the 36 as well. Both of those drivers trying to move forward up inside of the top 5 here. No contact, Hanley in the 05 into the wall. Tristan Swanson involved. And Hanley was running up inside of the top 5 and goes for a spin. See what happened to the 05. We're going to watch from up above here. Down the front stretch, I think they just got hooked. The 91 definitely got some damage from that. We'll take a look at it here in just a moment. Tough break for the 05 of Max Hanley. We're on board with him right here up off the corner. Here was his view of it. Yeah, you can see the initial contact. After that, there was nothing he could have done differently besides lock it down and hang on. And everybody but one driver going to come down pit road. Carter Hollingsworth and Tyler Muller going to stay out. A couple drivers electing to stay out as well. But pit road is open, and there are a lot of takers coming down for some tires. I have received word that Hollingsworth, I believe, already took tires. And that is why he has elected to stay out under this caution. Going to get the 1 to go signal this time, and then they will get the choose cone as well. Hollingsworth out front in the 28. An alternate strategy, going to try to hang on for these final 47 laps. Track position has been huge tonight. We'll see what these drivers can do. Look at the choose cone. Was the 6th caution flag. We'll send them back green inside of 50 laps to go. So this is where it gets exciting. All bets are off. A lot of these drivers came down pit road and got their final set of tires. The 28 of Hollingsworth launches nice and early. Will have a good lead down into turns 1 and 2. We are back racing here in the North State Motors 150. Everybody down the back straightaway. A couple drivers on different strategies here. We see a lot of pace difference at the front. Back out in front. And your race leader with 43 laps to go. Fighting to hang on to the 3rd spot. We've got a caution flag on the racetrack. Michael Osteek in the 33, pointed the wrong direction. Down the back straightaway. Take a look at what happened right here. Battling with Eddie Dabrowski. There's contact up off the corner. 33 goes around. He made any contact after the fact, but little spin brings out the caution. One more time, we'll look at it. I think the 29 may have just gotten a little bit tight up off the corner. That brings the caution out. I'm gonna go grab a quick drink of water before or while we're under this caution flag. I'll keep it live so you guys don't miss a thing, but we'll be right back on the WD Broadcasting Network. right, climbed in the seat just in time for another restart. It shows back, ready to go racing here. Good jump from the 28 of Carter Hollingsworth. Tyler Muller going to try to get back up in line in front of Ty Fredrickson and Joe Schaefer. Down the back straightaway, 112 laps in. Joe Schaefer on the bottom of the 6 machine trying to get back up in front. Looks like he will get in front of Brandon Wilkinson right there. They're 3 wide. Scotty Gardner on the bottom trying to make it work. Tyler Muller into the outside wall. Battle for the second spot right there. Fredrickson holds it in the 36. Tyler Muller trying to hold as much track position as he can right there, and the caution flag flies. Kristen Swanson turned around in turns 1 and 2, and he's got some heavy damage on that race car. Tough break for the 91. Last week's winner and tied for the points lead. Let's look one more time at what happened. Didn't quite catch it there. He was out back behind Anthony Danta in the 51, and it looked like it happened in front of him actually, and multiple cars spinning in turn 1. 51 around as well. I think that may have been Max Hanley in the 05 that also got tagged. This is on board with the 51. I think he was expecting just a little bit more room, and then kept up off the corner. They all kind of came together right there. Nowhere for Tristan Swanson to go. That was an unlucky break. Just wrong place, wrong time for that 91 car. You can see the damage on the right front. Definitely going to change the handling of that race car, and it may even be driving a little bit sideways right there. So Swanson down to pit road to try to get some of that damage repaired. Carter Hollingsworth continues to show the way, and I'm sure that he is liking these caution flags. The more caution flags that he has, the less laps he's going to have to hold off these drivers with fresher tires behind him. And we'll see if he's made the right call on pit road. We'll send him for another pace lap here. Allow some of these drivers some extra time to get things picked up on pit road. All repaired. Tyler Muller able to hang on to the 3rd spot, but man, he was under attack for that position. Remember, he has not been on pit road since lap 85. Everybody else was on lap 102, so a little bit fresher tires for the field. So the field chooses and doubles up one more time. We are ready to send him back racing. Carter Hollingsworth on the top. Gonna roll off next to Ty Fredrickson. We're ready to go back racing. Hollingsworth up top. Goes nice and early once again. He'll have a big lunge down the front straightaway. We are back racing. Move off for the 28 of Hollingsworth. Ty Fredrickson down the back straightaway. I think he's going to be able to, but here comes the 36 back to the bottom once again. We'll take a shot to the bottom. Battle for the race lead off of turn number 4. Ty Fredrickson is right there. And oh, there's contact. Hollingsworth drives down to the bottom. What a save from the 28 machine. Now he's going to be up on the outside. Can he take that spot back from Ty Fredrickson? The 36 kind of moves up the racetrack a little bit right there. Hollingsworth not able to hold him down. And the caution flag flies. I believe that's going to hand the race lead over to the 36 of Ty Fredrickson. But Danny Mann in the 10 machine, I believe, had trouble, along with Michael Ostiek as well. So let's see what happened on the front straightaway. The 10 and the 17 all battling right there. And I think there was contact between Rehberg and Mann. Around they went up off the corner. Michael Ostiek also involved in the 33. Try and go on board with Nick Rehberg here for it. It looked like Mann tried to zig when Rehberg tried to zag. Just met in the middle right there. That's going to bring us under yellow once again. 9th caution flag so far. Ty Fredrickson was able to take the lead away from Carter Hollingsworth. Anthony Danta in the 51 gets a lucky dog. So he will be back on the lead lap, which puts us back to 23 cars. There's still only one driver has left us so far. Field doubling up this time, but the lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car, so we're not going to send them green this time. But it will be Ty Fredrickson and Joe Schaefer lining up 1-2. Carter Hollingsworth elected to take the top behind Fredrickson, so let's see how that works out on the start. Lights back off in the iRacing.com pace car. We're going to send them back green with 25 laps to go. It'll be Ty Fredrickson and Joe Schaefer Jr. Your front two, leading us through turns 3 and 4. A good launch from the 36. We are back underway with 25 laps to go. Drive into 1 and 2 for the 36 of Fredrickson and Joe Schaefer clears. Carter Hollingsworth down the back. I think the 28 of Hollingsworth is still going to be there. What can Joe Schaefer do to try and get out in front of the 28 and track down the 36 of Ty Fredrickson? Hollingsworth in the 28, peeks ahead down the back straightaway. Trying to hang on to that second spot. And we've got a big one in turns 3 and 4. A ton of cars collected right there. You see Jackson Lewis, Nick Rehberg, Brandon Elvis. I think that's Trent Smith in turn 4. And that was a big one. Down into 3. I'm not sure what happened. Looked like the 40. Oh, and I think Trent Smith and Jackson Lewis made contact, and as soon as that happened, there was a big amount of contact. Everybody piled in right there. Brandon Elvis had a big impact in that one. Let's go on board with the 54. I think it all happened right in front of him. Right up in the wall. Nothing he could have done. And that was all she wrote. You heard it right there. Tough break for Brandon Elvis. Going to be out of this one. A lot of cars suffered a lot of damage from that one as well. On board with Danny Mann. He had a good view of this one. Nothing he could have done. Man, the 54 just flew off the wall. Nowhere that head machine could have gone. Now inside of 20 laps to go when we send him back green. Chosen once again. Fredrickson going to take that outside lane. Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 going to once again line up behind the 36, your race leader. Enjoying that outside starting position. You can get a really good run down the straightaway. So let's see what they've got. They get the 1-to-go signal here. And we'll send them back green inside of 20 laps to go. Now have 20 cars on the lead lap. Let's get to about a couple competitors. Twenty cars on the lead lap. 19 laps to go when they come back around. Ty Fredrickson up top. Joe Schaefer Jr. on the bottom. Through turns 3 and 4, and they're back underway. Big bobble from the 28 of Hollingsworth. Keeps it in the right direction. We're back racing with 19 laps to go. 19 to go, down the back straightaway. Contact, that was Hollingsworth up into the outside wall. He's battling with Brandon Wilkinson for the 3rd spot. And up out of 4, Corey Rogers goes for a spin. Eric Kraus to the bottom as well. Preston Boers also spins. The caution flag comes back out there. Watch what happened. There's the 40 of Rogers, and I think there was a little bit of contact from the 9, and the 29 also got collected. I think the biggest contact there is for the 40 of Corey Rogers. This is Preston Boers, who's on the outside lane. You see the 40 right there, just barely tags his left rear. I don't think he got any damage from that, or any damage too much, I should say. Another caution flag, 11 on the evening. Ty Fredrickson continues to show the way, and laps are running out here. It was 19 when we sent him back green that time. And it'll be inside of 15 this time, so laps are running out. Ty Fredrickson, if he's able to execute these restarts, could have this one in the bag. Field doubles up. They're going to get the 1 to go signal this time by. Lights drop on the iRacing.com pace car, ready to send them back green this time. I believe it'll be 14 to go. So can anybody knock the 36 of Ty Fredrickson off this top spot? Pace car drops to pit road. We'll send him back green one more time. We'll try it again. Coming back to 14 laps to go. Fredrickson goes up to the wall and then launches off the corner. Green flag flies once again. Good run from the 6 of Schaefer down to the bottom. Nearly contact right there. 14 to go down the back straightaway. We've got a battle for the lead. Drag race down the back straightaway. Ty Fredrickson up top. Joe Schaefer to the bottom. Ryan Tedeschi right there, also looking 3 wide on the bottom. Making a 3-car race for the lead. Fredrickson hangs on to it for now. 13 laps to go. They're 3 wide back behind him. Riley Stenjum underneath Scotty Gardner and Carter Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth going to get kind of forced out of that deal. Meanwhile, up front, Ryan Tedeschi fighting with Brandon Wilkinson for the 3rd spot. Battle for the lead. Joe Schaefer Jr. kind of muscles Ty Fredrickson up the racetrack a little bit. What can Fredrickson do? He comes back to the bottom with a move of his own. Slide job across the racetrack there. Ty Fredrickson took the lead back, but Joe Schaefer was ready for it. He'll cross back underneath and have a run of his own through turns 3 and 4. This time by 10 laps to go. Joe Schaefer Jr. back out front. Fredrickson back to the bottom again, and there's a contact, but the caution flag flies. Schaefer's going to hold the lead, but man, things got intense there. I think there was trouble for the 28 of Carter Hollingsworth. And we're going to have another shot at it here inside of 10 laps to go. Let's watch what happened to the 28 of Hollingsworth. I think he may have came down the racetrack right there and clipped Derek Kraus and Brett McCoy together. I'm not sure. Look one more time at it. Try and look from above. This is up off the corner. I think the 28 just came off the wall the slightest little bit. That kind of pushed the 9 into the 1 of Brett McCoy and put us under caution once again. Joe Schaefer is going to hold the lead. It'll be inside of 10 laps to go when we bring him back this time. And then I'd say if we don't get it done here, we're going to be getting close to a green-white, or the green-white checkered zone. Schaefer going to choose the inside lane. Does not want to give Fredrickson the opportunity for any funny business here. Inside of these last, what will be 5 laps, as we get the 1 to go signal this time by. We've had 12 caution flags. The question is, will we get another? If we get another, we're going to be into overtime. We'll have to see how it unfolds. Joe Schaefer going to roll off next to Ty Fredrickson here. We get ready to send him back with 5 laps to go. It's a 5-lap shootout here at IRP. Good launch there from Joe Schaefer. He's going to be clear for the race lead. Big lunge from Brandon Wilkinson underneath Ty Fredrickson. And down the back straightaway they go, and a bunch of cars going around Anthony Danta up and over multiple times. And that did not take long. We are going to overtime. See how it happened. Derek Kraus into the 33 of Michael Ostiek, and that is what caused that big one to unfold down the back. Anthony Danta unfortunately ends up on all 4, or not on all 4 wheels, I should say. The field back under yellow once again, and it will be a green-white checkered. Does anybody have anything for Joe Schaefer here? Does the 6 machine have this one wrapped up? 2-lap shootout in the North State Motors 150. Joe Schaefer trying to hang on to it. He did. Here he has led a big chunk of this race up to this point. We'll see if anybody has anything. I'll get the 1 to go signal right here. In the hands of Joe Schaefer Jr. He elected to choose the inside lane. He got a good start last time. Did not have anybody close to him. We'll see if he can execute that one more time. Going green just yet. Lights did not drop on the iRacing.com pace card. We'll give it one more lap to look at the lineup and make sure everything is correct and where it needs to be. White checkered racing. Fredrickson on the outside lane. Gonna have to get a good jump if he wants any shot at the race lead. There'll be a 2-lap shootout. Pace car is off. Into turns 3 and 4. Big jump there from the number 6 of Joe Schaefer. He's got a good lead. We are underway for the final 2 laps in the North State Motors 150. Through turns 1 and 2, the 6 of Joe Schaefer down the back straightaway. Don't think they're going to make it back around, and they don't. Tyler Muller in the 78 machine goes around. I think he got tagged by Preston Boers is what it was off of turn number 2. We'll watch it one more time. Muller was the car that initially went around. There was contact between him and Kraus. And then the 29 made more contact right there, and then Kraus and the 78 spin. I don't think anybody else was involved. But caution flag flies once again. We do have another attempt at overtime, so we won't finish this one under yellow. The 14th caution flag is flown. Last week at Nashville Fairgrounds, we had 11 caution flags. We have surpassed that with 14 here tonight. Field, I think, going to choose right here. Schaefer likely going to continue to choose that bottom lane. He's gotten such good restarts. Been able to get a good jump on him and have a clear track ahead of him into turns 1 and 2. He does choose the bottom one more time. Gets the 1 to go signal this time, I believe. The lights do drop on the iRacing.com pace car. We are going to attempt to get this one finished under green. These guys are only given 2 white checkered attempts, so it has to be on this one right here. We'll see if they can keep it green down the back straightaway. Through turns 3 and 4, Joe Schaefer, Ty Fredrickson. Good launch once again from Schaefer. Here comes Fredrickson, though. He's got a good run to the bottom. What can he do? Down into turns 1 and 2. Contact into Schaefer goes Ty Fredrickson. Brandon Wilkinson leads down the back straightaway. And Tedeschi and Fredrickson get tangled. I think Brandon Wilkinson is going to be the winner after Fredrickson made contact with Schaefer down into 1 and 2. 15 cautions. I don't think we have another attempt at it here. We should be getting the white flag this time by Brandon Wilkinson going to be your winner. Riley Stenjum second. Scotty Gardner, how about that? From the last chance race to the podium, comes home third. Maybe I lied, actually. We do have another attempt at the green-white checkered, so we aren't done yet, folks. I thought it was only 2, but we do have one more attempt. There have been 15 caution flags. There are 16 cars on the lead lap. Actually, now 17. try it again. Can we get it done under green? That is going to be the big question here. Brandon Wilkinson, Riley Stenjum. Sure, a lot of these drivers back behind are going to be hungry for a podium as well. Let's see what they can do. We'll bring them back next time. Do the green. Get the one to go right here. Field gets the one to go. We'll send him back green to another green-white checkered attempt. Pace car is off. It'll be Brandon Wilkinson and Riley Stenjum. Your front two leading us through the restart zone. Bit of a stack up there. She'll make things interesting here. Stenjum on the outside lane, going to drive it in deep into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Brian Tedeschi back to the bottom. Down the back straightaway they go. Drag race for the top spot. Wilkinson going to fight back on the bottom through turns 3 and 4. Wilkinson going to be clear. White flag is out. Final time around here at IRP. Riley Stenjum in the 77 going to try to get a big run down the back straightaway. The 56 of Brandon Wilkinson going to shoot to the bottom to try and block. The 77 on the outside lane. Going to be a drag race up off of 4. And oh, contact. The 56 of Brandon Wilkinson spins across the line, and it finishes in the exact fashion it should have. Man, what a race. Stenjum comes home P2. Brandon Wilkinson is your winner, though, after 162 laps. Wilkinson picks up the victory. I'm going to quickly grab a word from our top 3, and then we're going to close things out. What a race. Brandon Wilkinson picks up the victory after a couple pretty rough green-white checkered attempts there. I thought it was going to go to Joe Schaefer Jr. He does still recover for a 7th place finish, but definitely not the result that he was looking for. I don't know if I see our top 3 in there. We're going to run through our finishing results because we did take quite a bit of time here tonight. We're going to talk to, or try to talk to, there we go. Got a couple drivers in there. Now I should be able to talk to our drivers. There we go. Let's talk to first Brian Tedeschi, our 3rd place finisher here tonight. We'll get the results back up on the left side of the screen. 3rd place finisher up in the broadcast booth here tonight, Brian Tedeschi. You got a copy? Alrighty, well, 3rd place here tonight. You started 2nd after the redraw. It was an eventful race. Break me through your run.
Especially with using the iRacing baseline, the thing was very tight to say the least. So just a matter of managing tires, trying to save it and then taking your tires as late as possible.
Yeah, we definitely saw some kind of differing strategies there. A lot of guys came down to get fuel early, and then a lot of tires later in the run. I think a couple of drivers maybe came down too early to get tires, but luckily you were able to keep the 29 machine in the right direction at the end of the race and avoid all the chaos, ultimately putting yourself on the podium in third. Who do you have to thank for podium finish at IRP?
I think the big thing is my teammates, the posse. So Riley Stenjum, shout out to him. Happy birthday to Stenny. Brendan Wilkinson, Joe Schaefer, Derek Kraus. It's always fun racing with them, whether we're doing all pro or Sarah. We're a big team that happens to be good buddies and race through the Midwest together. So definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, got to thank those guys a lot. And yeah, move onward.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you on your podium finish here tonight, Brian, and hopefully we can talk to you later on throughout the season.
Yep, cheers.
Yes, sir. All right, let's talk to our second place finisher, birthday boy, Riley Stenjum. Riley Stenjum up into the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Alrighty, well, it was an eventful race here tonight. That's the one word that's going to be used to define it, eventful. I think it was 15 cautions there at the end. Ended up in the second place spot after starting 13th. Tell me about your run.
Yeah, it was kind of an up and down race for sure. Kind of turned into a caution fest there at the end. But yeah, I started 13th and I felt like I needed to get some track position early, so I drove to, I don't know, maybe just outside the top 5 and felt like I probably had to use my right front tire a little too much, and that was definitely the case. When everybody put tires on there with about 50 to go, my right front had just blown. It was at 0%. So the caution kind of saved me. I fell back to 18th, fired off, got just some good restarts, missed some wrecks, and ended up inside the top 5 there for those handful of restarts there at the end, and was able to capitalize when they got wrecking for the lead. So it's cool though to have the posse 1, 2, 3 with me, Wilkes, and Brian. So good start to the season after wrecking last week. Good way to get back on track. Hopefully we can run all the points races.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to rebound after last week's run, and a good run for the posse, all 3 on the podium. So good run for you here. I know you got to thank your teammates. Who else do you have to thank for a podium finish at IRP?
Yeah, just everybody at the posse. We have a good time hanging out, racing all the time on this stuff during the winter, especially when we're not racing in real life. So yeah, everybody at the posse, and then Brett and everybody that puts the league on. It's a fun race to run and a race with all the Midwest people that come out.
Alrighty, well, next on our schedule, we've got Hickory for Twin 100s next week. Do you think you can get one of those features, maybe 2?
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know how they're going to do the inverts between them. I'm assuming there's probably going to be a pretty large invert between the 2 races, so it's probably going to be pretty hard to sweep it, but hopefully we can get at least one of them. Hickory's not my best track, especially in this car, so we'll have to see how the setup is and go from there.
Involving the 41.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Riley, on your second place run here tonight. We will talk to you throughout the season. Wish you luck.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now we will grab a word from our winner here tonight. See if we can't get Brandon Wilkinson up into the broadcast booth. Brandon Wilkinson, winner here in the North State Motors 150. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Alrighty, well, 15 cautions here tonight. Definitely a wild race at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. That 15 machine stayed up at the front. You were up inside of the top 5 all night long, and just found yourself in the right spot there when it was all said and done.
Yeah, just man, you don't always have to be the best car, but that definitely allows us to work out. But yeah, I was it kind of was a victim of circumstance there early on, racing really hard, and ended up getting. I mean, we were just in the right place at the right time. I knew that Ty and Joe were going to race really hard. Honestly, I felt like Joe had the best car, probably was the best driver tonight, and I was kind of trying to pace off him early and just kind of burnt it up. But yeah, just right place, right time. Rather be lucky than good sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have luck on your side, especially at the end of that one. It definitely has to feel good knowing that if you were in here running through all those cautions, at least you were the winner at the end of it. But Congratulations to you, Brandon, on your win here tonight. Who do you have to thank for a good run?
Yeah, I mean, all the guys on the posse. Obviously, we made it a little more dramatic than we'd like to tonight, but it's really fun racing with Riley, Ty, Derek. He had a bad night. Yeah, Riley, Brian, Majeski, Joe. It's just a good group of guys, man. We all really enjoy getting on here in the off season, and to run 1, 2, 3 for the posse is always it's good. You know, they used to do that every week in official races, so it's good to still be able to carry the banner here about 15 years later. But yeah, everybody at the posse, Drew at Epic Media pays for everything in terms of iRacing for me, and has for about 8 or 9 years now. So yeah, just it's always good to come back to All Pro. This is a league that I feel like I've run since I was 14 years old. So Alex has done a really good job taking us over, and really appreciate the place to run.
Yeah, it's definitely been a pretty fun league so far. We're only 2 weeks in. We've got Hickory next week. We've got 2 Twin 100s. How are you feeling going into Hickory with a little bit of momentum on your shoulders?
Yeah, I was kind of a late entry tonight. I got home and decided I wanted to race with my friends because, like I said, it's just a good group. And so we'll probably go to Hickory. It'll be an absolute bloodbath. But what more could you ask for on a Monday night?
No kidding. Well, hopefully we take a step in the right direction. It'd be hard to top 15 cautions at Hickory, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to test anybody. But congratulations to you, Brandon, on your win here tonight, and we will talk to you throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. Glad we can make the finish at least worth it. And glad we didn't let B win the race.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks. That was your winner, Brandon Wilkinson. Now we'll take a look one more time at our finishing results before we hop off of this and call it a night. Get our feature results up on screen for you guys, not the qualifying results right there. Brandon Wilkinson, your winner. Riley Stenjum, second. Brian Tedeschi, third. Those are the 3 we just talked to. Scotty Gardner comes home 4th. Trent Smith, 5th. Preston Moores, 6th. Joe Schaefer, 7th. Michael Ostiek, 8th. Carter Hollingsworth, 9th. Derek Kraus, 10th. Ty Fredrickson comes home 11th. Tristan Swanson, 12th. Tyler Muller, 13th. Brett McCoy, 14th. Max Hanley, 15th. Anthony Dant, 16th. Kenny Storkson, 17th. Eddie Dabrowski, 18th. Danny Mann, 19th. Corey Rogers, 20th. And back behind them, rounding out our field, Jackson Lewis, Brandon Elvis, Nick Rieberg, and Tanner Burge. So that is going to do it for us here tonight, folks, on the WD Broadcasting Network. Thank you guys for tuning in up to this point. If you guys enjoyed, hit that subscribe button for more iRacing content. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Stay up to date with all of our latest iRacing streams. We'll be streaming in a couple of Tuesdays for the Leave the Pack Super Series, but we'll see you guys right back here next Monday night for the Twin 100s for the Winter Challenge Series. So I'm your host, Winston Deal, signing it off. Till next time, y'all have a good night. Peace out.